Hello and welcome to my channel. Behind me we have a 1975 Ford Bronco that I'm going to be restoring and documenting the process on. It's been a more family heirloom vehicle that's been passed down through my family, and I want to document this process and as we go along with this to restore this thing. Sorry, my heater keeps on. So we're just kind of getting started for today. I've already done a little bit to it. We're going to go kind of like an overview of the vehicle today. Just kind of get started with the process. So I'm going to be documenting this in multiple part series throughout the entire build. It may be a month, maybe 5 years, I don't know. But I'm just going to continue to follow through the process. I've got some stuff ordered to get started working on this thing. And so I'm just going to take y'all along with me and just kind of upload all this stuff for fun and to keep for myself. So I hope everybody enjoys and tag along, and let's get into it for today. Alright, so here is the 1975 Bronco. You can see the hose hanging out of the hood. That's from where I've done some stuff to it. I'm gonna go over the body real quick on this thing. So going around it, it's in pretty good shape. The paint's pretty nice still. Probably gonna still end up repainting it later. We do have some rust issues, so got a good hole here and bunch of rust up in the fender. So of course it's gonna need some body work. Overall the frame looks pretty good going around. Of course the back corners rusted through, got a little bit of surface rust and a small little hole on the, I guess you'd call it, tailgate. Spare tire carrier still there. Passenger side is in a lot better shape than the driver's side. I don't know what the big difference there is. Go over the interior. The passenger door does open, the driver door does not, so I got to figure that out. I'm gonna have to pop the door card off and check it out. Interior is pretty good shape, seats are good, and looks okay on that. A little bit of rust on the interior in the back corners on the fender wells. So, let me get the door shut. There we go. So I have all the original hubcaps. Overall, pretty clean. And now let's check under the hood here. All right, so under the hood, looks pretty good. Still got the 302 carbureted motor in it. I'm gonna be leaving that in it for this process. I've already done a little bit of work with it. What I have done is I verify that the engine spins over. Rotating the fan, the engine will turn over. And I have had it running. The factory fuel pump on the side of the block, mechanical one, it did not work. So I took the line off the carburetor right there and ran it to an Edelbrock fuel pump to a switch, and that's what this hose was for, is I ran it to a fuel bottle, and I was able to get this thing to run. So it runs good until the choke opens. Once the choke starts opening up, it starts kind of running bad. So I'm gonna have to go through the carburetor, but I don't think I'm gonna be keeping that on here anyways. Thinking about going with a throttle body injection. So what we're gonna do today, starting off with this, is kind of some basics. I wanna clean this engine bay up. I wanna get rid of some of the unnecessary things. I'm gonna drain the oil and the coolant, and we're gonna try to get the radiator out of this, because I got a new radiator coming for it, because the radiator's a little rough, turn a little green. And then around this side, it's been leaking through there. So I know once I put the fuel injection on it, I'm gonna have to do tuning, and I'm not gonna be able to keep it at operating temp with that radiator. There's something in the accessory drive squealing, so I've ordered a water pump for that. Hopefully that'll be the cause. I hadn't ran it long enough to really pinpoint it. But we're gonna get started on today. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the oil changed in this thing, and then we're gonna start cleaning up the engine bay area, and then we will get this radiator out. All right. So here we are underneath the vehicle. We're gonna get this oil drained out of this thing. This thing's been leaking oil for a while. The whole transmission's covered, the oil pan's covered. Not exactly sure where that's coming from yet. Looking from up top, it seemed like the valve covers were leaking a little bit, but I don't know if they've been leaking this much oil. If I touch off that transmission, I got red fluid, so I believe some type of transmission fluid leak, whether it be the front pump or the pan, or maybe one of the lines that come out of it. I'm not sure yet, but it is covered. Anyways, I got me a 22mm socket. I know it's probably supposed to be standard, but it's what I got. Let's see if we can get this oil drained out of this thing. Alright, got her loose. Let's try to do this without making a huge mess. Got my pan. I want to see how dirty this oil is after setting for 10-15 years. Let's see. Not horrible, to be honest. Definitely dark. Yep. So we'll let that drain, and then I will pull the filter off and put some new oil in it. Alright, so here's the motor oil we just drained out of this thing. Definitely dark. But I don't see any sparkle or any metal in the fluid, so I feel pretty confident about this engine. Let's get this oil filter changed. So the oil filter is on the side of the block right there. I've already broken it loose. We're gonna go ahead and get this draining. It's probably gonna make a mess all over my floor. Well, actually not much oil coming out of it, which is a good sign. Kinda. Oh. It fell. But it caught. Alright. Alright, I got the filter off the steering links. And there is oil in the filter. Which means that when we were running this engine, we had oil pressure. So, very good sign. So I have a brand new FL1A Motorcraft filter to put back on this. Definitely looks a lot different than the one from 15 years ago. They've changed the design a little bit. We're gonna snake this filter back in here and tighten it up. All right, so we're gonna get the engine oil filled back up on this thing. I have a ZDDP supplement that I'm gonna be adding to the oil. I'm using just cheap oil from O'Reilly's for now. Being a flat tappet cam engine, you gotta run a high zinc oil. So for now, I'm just running some basic, just O'Reilly's brand oil. That's kind of like a flush oil, and I'm just adding this additive in it for the time that I do run it. I'm gonna be running Amsoil Classic. I think it's a Classic or Z series or something like that oil in this. I have to look at it to be exact. That's what I'm gonna be using, but for now I'm just using this as a flush. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna add the supplement in first. And I gave this a good shake before I poured it in the engine to mix all that up. And then from what I found online is this engine holds about 6 quarts of oil. So I'm gonna start with this 5-quart jug and give it a check just to see how accurate that is online. And we're gonna get it all filled back up, so we're gonna add this oil in here. Looks a lot better than the oil we took out. And is it a full synthetic? It's just a standard oil. Just about the cheapest I could find for the time being. I'm not gonna put very many hours on this oil. It's just enough to flush it. I'm running 1030. So we'll get it filled up and we'll give it a check. Alright, so we got the oil filled up, took all 6 quarts. Just like it said online, all 6 quarts, and I added the additive. We'll be good to run this thing once we get everything else done. So now I'm gonna start working on cleaning up this engine bay a little bit. So I'm gonna set you up on a time lapse, and let's get to that. Alright, so we've gotten bunch of stuff taken off this engine to kind of open the engine bay up. We got rid of the smog pump and all the lines to it. A lot of the vacuum lines, took the smog harness out. Kind of opened some things up. Kind of debating on where to go next. I think I'm going to try to get this radiator out. But this is all the things we took off. All the smog valve, and the pump, the smog belt, and then the wiring harness for the smog. Opened up the engine bay quite a bit. Still just kind of looking things over. I think I'm going to do an ACES throttle body injection on this. So I'm kind of thinking of what do I need, what do I not need. I don't think a lot of the electronics I'm going to need. I'm going to go with an electronic distributor that does electronic advance instead of vacuum advance. Of course, I got to do plugs, wires. Eventually try to fix some of the oil leaks on this thing. I think for now, I'm going to try to get this radiator out. Don't know how far we're going to get today. But I'm thinking we're going to try to get this radiator out. I don't know if I got to pull the fan or not. I'm going to try to see if I can just set that shroud back and swap the actual radiator out. I've sprayed the other fittings. I believe these are for the transmission, but I'm not 100% sure. I think these are transcooler lines. I've sprayed them. Hopefully they don't want to break when I remove them. Still trying to figure out exactly what all I'm going to do. But for now, I think we're going to try to get this radiator out. Alright, so I got the radiator out. I only broke 2 bolts in the process, so I have to figure that out later. One of which is one of the lower mounting studs on the radiator, and then I broke a fan shroud bolt. I can probably find some bolts to fix that later. I'm not going to put the new radiator in today because I'm going to order a water pump to put on this thing. So I'm going to leave it off. Really, there's not a whole lot else I can do under the engine today. I'm going to leave all the carburetor and stuff on until I get the fuel injection stuff and probably an intake manifold. I don't want to mess with any of the plug wires right now until I get a distributor, so I'm going to get the electronic, the magnetic with the electronic control timing. So I'm going to wait on that. So there's not a whole lot more I can do today. So I think that's going to wrap up today's video, just kind of getting started on this project. Kind of did an overview today, and then cleaned the engine bay up some, got the radiator out. That's the most what we're going to do today. So if you like my video, follow, subscribe, like. Leave me in the comments what you think I should do with this thing, and give me some ideas on kind of where to go. Anything you want to see, let me know. Yeah. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for part 2.